With a rising death toll and dwindling hopes of finding survivors in the Surfside building collapse, rescue workers have been battling rain, fire, and the clock. As rescuers rummage through tons of rubble from above and beneath, a structural engineer tells Al Jazeera the collapse seems to have started in the building's foundation and the sinking landfill it was built on.
That might be something to do with the foundation settlement. That might be something to do with some of the columns that might be deteriorated over time. Remember, this building is very close to the shoreline. And when you have structures, especially concrete structures, very close to shoreline, they are exposed to salty seawater. That kind of accelerates the deterioration of the concrete.
Search and rescue teams cut a deep trench through pancaked concrete and mangled metal and made a grim discovery.
We've continued all night to build that trench, and as a result of that, we were able to recover 4 additional bodies in the rubble, as well as additional human remains.
First responders say this is still a rescue mission, noting survivors could live on in so-called void spaces.
So a void space can be created by pretty much anything. If a wall falls and hits your refrigerator instead of coming down to the floor, maybe a piece of furniture, maybe someone could be in a bathtub with a piece of wall over them, and the bathtub itself is a void space. So it's any space that could sustain life.
Family members are donating DNA to identify those lost in the Champlain Towers south, but the search has been hampered by fire and rain. There is another worry. Just north of the building that came down, there is another building called Champlain Tower North, built at the same time with similar materials, and residents there are being offered the chance to voluntarily evacuate. Over the next 30 days, Miami-Dade County officials will be inspecting it and other older high-rise buildings, hoping to avoid another catastrophe on the sinking sands of Miami Beach. The chances of finding survivors decrease by the hour and by the day.
The debris field's, scattered throughout, and it's compacted, extremely compacted. So it's a very slow process where we have to stabilize the best we can as we're moving through.
After the rescue come the forensic engineers, gathering samples from the collapsed concrete and steel and putting their findings into computer simulations.
They will try to replicate this failure by different simulations. And based on that, once you have in your computer environment simulating the same type of failure, then you will have a better understanding of what factor or factors caused this failure.
But first, rescue workers are toiling around the clock to ensure that anyone who has managed to survive within a void in the rubble is discovered before time runs out. Hendren, Al Jazeera, Surfside, Florida.